This guy and his hovercraft were not what we came to see at Green Tree Park last fall, but it was kind of cool, so we videotaped his entry into the Merrimack River. And after all, recreational use is part of the Merrimack River story. But this is also a source of drinking water for a lot of people, more than 300,000 households. So the river needs to be healthy. And while we mostly look at the water itself, the health of the river is impacted by a lot of things, including how much development there is, and in natural areas, what is growing and not growing along its banks.
Hi ladies, how's it going? Welcome to the Merrimack River.
And that's why we were here, to meet up with this group, members of the St. Louis University softball team doing a community service project under the guidance of the Open Space Council's Kat Dockery.
So we've got a couple of types of tools here today. These smaller ones.
A lot of these college kids know the Merrimack River from float trips. But today they were here to work, not play.
So we're going to be working kind of as far as the eye can see down that way.
Pulling out non-native invasive plants.
Do you see that very dark green vine that's growing up it? That is an invasive plant to Missouri called winter creeper.
Winter creeper was first used as a ground cover. The problem is it's also a tree cover and a tree killer. But the big culprit in these parts, along rivers and streams and in forests, is bush honeysuckle, an Asian plant first used as an ornamental shrub. It has berries, and birds eat them, even though they're not the most nutritious food. The birds fly away, and they poop out the seeds all over the place, and honeysuckle sprouts up all over the place where you don't want it, and it takes over. So it's a familiar story. People introduce a foreign or non-native plant or animal into an area because it does something they want it to do. Problem is, it spreads and does what it wants to do. And because it's not native to the area, very often there's nothing around to stop it.
It's very important that we keep the natural ecosystem in balance and that we don't allow some of these things to kind of override. Like for instance, if we were to clear all of the invasive honeysuckle along this area and we do it, maybe 2 or 3 years, then it allows an environment for a native species to kind of grow back, to regenerate, and they end up, kind of saying to those invasives, like, get out of here, like, we're stronger now, essentially. So you can pile up all of the clippings that you get in the root ball systems.
Is it effective? Well, yes, it is effective right here and at other places where volunteers pull and chop and cut. These folks were on the Katy Trail that same weekend removing honeysuckle. But control and eradication of invasives in the big picture is far more complicated. Still, bush honeysuckle is the kind of clear and present danger that conservationists can use as a rallying point, organizing and educating volunteers.
Orange and red and yellow, and that's usually bush honeysuckle. The other real
thing, it's certainly something that's explainable, identifiable, and once people kind of understand the importance and the value of native plants and native ecosystems, it really becomes something that they want to do.
The whole tree comes down.